So cable pull throughs, we're going to start off getting into position here with the cable. So as you can see, we've got a rope and it's coming between the legs, just stopping it there. This is our starting position, so I've just brought my feet out to outside of shoulder width. My toes are turned out slightly. You might want to turn them out a little bit more for yourselves. It all depends on your hip anatomy and where you can get your range of motion through the hip. This is very hip dominant exercise, so they might want to be turned out slightly more. My arm position is going to stay in a fixed position here, and we're going to be thinking about keeping the shoulder blades down in a packed position and also keeping that chin packed. Nice alignment as always, coming through the ear, the shoulder, the hip and the ankle. So we're just going to play that through for a few repetitions. So as you can see, very hip dominant, stretching back into the hip, very similar to a kettlebell swing. So just playing it back here. What's nice about the cable pull through is that if you do struggle with a hip hinge, this is a good exercise to try, just because it drags you back into that position. It really drags you back into the hip, and that's why you can see that I'm leaning forward slightly, and that's because the cable is driving you, trying to pull you back essentially. So you got to counterbalance that. So always thinking about ribcage down, so we're bracing the abs, stretching back through. So we're going to play that back through to here, and as you can see, I'm maintaining my alignment through the spine, haven't changed position. And look at the knees, so we have minimal knee flexion, all the range of motion is coming from the hip. Arms as well, to get that little bit more stretch into the hip, you can let it pull you back. So I'm actually letting that cable pull my arms through, just to get that little bit more stretch. However, if that's happening, it's also going to want to drag you down. So we want to try and maintain our alignment here, so you need to counterbalance that. Try not to let it pull you down too far. Playing that back through. So when you come to the finish here, make sure the hips aren't coming too far forward. If they come too far forward, you're going to come more into a sway back posture, and that's not going to be the hip extension that we're after. Also, we don't want the hips to be too far back, because then they're flexed. So just making sure that we've got true hip extension coming through here, and we're maintaining a nice neutral spine all the way through. So we have a little breath in through the nose at the top, stretch into the hip, and then breathing out at the top.